Boom! We are back. Crypto has not been looking too great over the last couple of days, ever since Elon Musk came out and tweeted about Bitcoin, saying that Tesla would be accepting Bitcoin once it becomes more energy efficient. Well, we have seen Bitcoin's price consistently drop off since then, and now many people are wondering, is the market crashing? Time to sell off? Are we entering a bear market? What is going on there? In addition to this, AMC has been making a lot of major moves. Over the last couple of weeks, we have seen its meteoric rise. It has gone from about $10 per share all the way up over $70 per share at one point, and we have a couple of major catalysts coming out with that. And also, one of the major stories I'm pretty excited about for today's episode is going to be with Dogecoin, because the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, and the founder of Cardano, Charles Hoskinson, are both, what it looks like, arguing over who is going to partner with Dogecoin. They came out in recent podcasts, they've come out in recent articles, and a lot of this happened over the last 24 hours about them potentially partnering with Dogecoin, taking it to the next level. So you guys know the deal. We're going to put timestamps down below so you can skip ahead to any portion of the video. Also, if you can, please be sure to like, subscribe, helps grow the community. And if you don't already have the public.com investing app, make sure to go ahead and follow me on that. You can buy stocks, sell stocks, and see exactly what I'm buying and selling in real time, as well as a full portfolio breakdown. Think of it like an investing app combined with social media. It is completely free to follow me. Use the code Michael when you sign up, and you'll get up to $50 in a free stock. But anyways, right now, let's start off with what is going on in the crypto world, and then we'll talk about stocks after. But starting off, the entire crypto market is down about 3.65%. Bitcoin's down 3.8%. Ethereum's down about 5%. Binance Coin down 3.58%. And Dogecoin is down pretty significantly, down about 6%. So that's at the time of filming this, but either way, the entire market has taken a pretty big hit over the last couple of days. We are under a $1.5 trillion market cap, sitting right around that 1.45 to about $1.6 trillion market cap. We've been hovering around that over the last couple of days and last couple of weeks. So everyone's been asking, you know what, Michael, should we sell off some of our crypto, take some profits, maybe move it over to the stock market for the time being? What are you doing? Well, me personally, I'm continuing to add to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, all my favorite cryptos consistently over time during these drops. I don't care what happens in the short term. The key statistic that stands out to me is that 6% of people in the US own crypto. 6%. That is the number that I am keeping an eye out on, because once we see more people start to use crypto, more investors start to put money into the crypto world, institutions start to put money, well, that's going to be when we start to see major gains. That 6% turns into 50%. And it doesn't matter, if you bought in, let's say at 40,000 or 30,000 for Bitcoin, or you bought in at 3,000 or 2,200 for Ethereum. In my opinion, long-term, all of these are still great. I'm continuing to buy, but short-term, we have seen it drop off quite a bit. And the big news that came out the other day is when we're looking at the data with Bitcoin is right now, Bitcoin fund holdings hit a 4-month low, which is not great news in terms of what's happening with bear market, bull market, what's going on there in the short-term trends. So right now, Bitcoin funds have been bleeding coins in the last couple of days, especially since the Federal Reserve, they moved up the timeline for what they're expecting with interest rates and inflation. So data tracked by a company called ByteTree Asset Management, they show that the number of coins held by US and Canadian closed-end funds and Canadian and European exchange-traded funds, well, they fell to about 782,558 BTC, worth about 28.72 billion on Friday, which was the lowest we had seen it since February 25th, 2021. So this is not a great sign. We are seeing that holdings have declined by about 15,000 Bitcoin in the past 3 days alone. And this is showing us that institutions, some of the big money players, and some just retail investors in general are getting a little more bearish on crypto. They're not as excited about it in the short term. They're seeing that with that death cross, which we spoke about in the last video. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already. But with that death cross, that's when the 50-day moving average crosses the 200-day moving average, that since that is happening, people are a little more bearish about crypto. It is a lagging indicator, so people are saying, you know what, we have entered a bearish market for crypto, and maybe it's time to take some profits off the table. We did see about a high of Bitcoin in these funds. Fund holdings peaked above 815,000 BTC in mid-May. They rose by over 300,000 BTC since October. So we have seen, over the last year still a major increase, even though recently we've seen a Bitcoin come out of these funds, people selling off. Over the last 8-9 months, we have definitely seen a major increase. It's just right now surprising that we are seeing BTC held by ETFs and funds are decreasing. It's a significant way, important way to measure what is going on with network demand, how much people are actually interested in buying it, how bullish people are. And heavy institutional buying usually helps to increase the prices like we saw back in October. Since then, we have seen a bit of a decrease, and just something we'll have to keep an eye out on. We'll have to keep this on the back, in the back of our minds, just keeping an eye out on what is happening with these Bitcoin ETFs, Ethereum ETFs, and the trusts like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, what's going on with that. Speaking of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust though, Grayscale Investments is considering 31 crypto assets for investment products and adding these to their list. Right now they have, GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, they have Grayscale Ethereum Trust, and they've been speaking about converting these over to ETFs for a while now. Obviously they can't do that just yet because the SEC has not approved a single Bitcoin ETF, a single Ethereum ETF, and they actually delayed that decision. So right now, they can't convert them over to ETFs, but with the trust, they have Bitcoin, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and Ethereum, Grayscale Ethereum Trust. These are two very large ways that institutions invest in Bitcoin and Ethereum. A lot of times investment banks don't invest directly into Bitcoin, directly into Ethereum. So instead they buy these crypto assets with Grayscale Investments. And right now we're seeing that GBTC has $24.12 billion assets under management, and Grayscale Ethereum Trust has about $7.13 billion under management as well. But the exciting news here is that they are talking about adding a bunch of new altcoins. And this is showing that not only are institutions interested in Bitcoin and Ethereum and the major cryptos, but we're starting to see a lot of people asking, can we invest in Cardano, EOS, Solana? Can we invest in Binance Coin? And we're seeing that demand continuing to grow from institutional investors. Even though, yes, we have seen the market come down a little bit, calm down over the last couple of days, last couple of weeks, we are still seeing overall the trend. Institutions are looking into crypto more than ever before, and they're starting to say, wait. Maybe it's a good sign, a good thing for us to get in now before we start to see major institutional money, hundreds of billions of dollars start to pour into crypto. Maybe it's a good idea for us to get in now. And as a result of this, just the other day, Grayscale Investments announced that they're considering 13 additional crypto assets to consider adding to their investment products. These include 1inch, Bancor, Curve, Internet Computer, which is a very exciting project that we've talked about quite a bit, Kava, Kyber Network, Loopring, Polygon, another one I'm very excited about, Solana, and a couple of others as well. This is in addition to coins that they've already considered, already brought up before in talks and conversations, such as Uniswap, Yearn Finance, Cardano, Compound, Cosmos, EOS, and many others. So it's just exciting to see that Grayscale Investments is looking to add more altcoins, not just Bitcoin and Ethereum. They're saying, look, people, the demand is there. And if people are asking them to consider adding new coins, they're going to do it. They're going to make it easier for people to invest and easier for institutions to get exposure to these altcoins. And once we see these approved and once we see them actually established and they add these crypto assets to their investment products, well, we're going to see billions of dollars poured into many of these projects. For example, Cardano. Cardano has seen major institutional interest increase over the last couple of months as people are looking towards alternatives to Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're seeing a lot of funds flow into Cardano because people like the energy efficiency aspect of it, the scalability of it, and what it is capable of in terms of decentralized finance applications versus Ethereum. So we've been seeing interest increase in projects like Cardano, but still it's not as widely invested in by major institutions. So once we start to see these investment products added, which they are considering, this will be a major thing for crypto and just entire crypto world in general, because we're going to start to see the big money players get into some of these smaller altcoins. And it only takes one big player to make a smaller altcoin's price nearly double. If someone gets into, let's say, Polygon has about an $8.9 billion market cap. If a major investment firm or a couple of major investment firms start to pour money into that project, well, it could go from an $8 billion market cap to 12 billion, 13 billion very, very quickly. And that would bring the price, up about 50, 60%. So just something to keep in mind. Keep an eye on what is going on with Grayscale Investments, one of the premier ways that institutions get exposure to Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they are one of the leaders in that space. So something exciting. It's just very exciting to see. Next up is with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is officially the first major US bank to begin trading cryptocurrency, and just the other day, they announced that they are having a new partnership with Mike Novogratz, his company Galaxy Digital, which is the crypto merchant bank. They are working with them, and that now Goldman Sachs has officially begun trading cryptocurrency. It's essentially giving other banks the go-ahead to say, look, we're doing it. You guys got to get in right now. You better get in, and it's okay if other banks get in, because what happens most of the time, according to analysts, according to just history in general, what happens is generally what we see is when one bank gets in, one bank starts to do something, then we see all the other major banks get in as well. None of them like to be the first. A lot of times they're a little slower to being the first, but once one bank is out there doing something, the other banks have fear of missing out, FOMO, they'll get on board because clients are asking for it. They don't want clients to leave their bank for another bank. So we always see this happen, whether it's with, some sort of investment products like crypto, whether it's with stocks, whatever it's with. If there's something out there that people can't invest in, that the company isn't investing in, well, they might lose some customers to competition, and no bank is going to want to do that. So it's exciting to see that Goldman Sachs is finally doing this. But interesting thing here, which I found pretty crazy, is that Goldman Sachs is constantly flip-flopping their mind, changing their mind about what they want to do with crypto. One day we see them write a report. The report said that basically Bitcoin is not a long-term store of value. It's not even an investable asset class, and they want nothing to do with it. They want nothing to do with it. It says digital assets. This is a report from them. Digital assets, beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. They go around talking about but Bitcoin shouldn't really be part of portfolios. Yet now they're talking about investing in crypto. They've officially, partnered with Galaxy Digital to invest in crypto. So it's just interesting to see that we see major banks, major institutions on the one hand say that they want nothing to do with Bitcoin. Then the next day they say we're investing in it. So is it that they're just internally divided on what should be the next steps with crypto and digital assets? That's very possible. Is it that they're trying to manipulate the market and they're trying to spread fear when they say we're not investing? Then later people figure out, well, they actually did invest. That's a possibility too, because we do see that happen quite a bit. But either way, what we do know is that Goldman Sachs does have this partnership. They are starting to trade crypto. We will start to see more banks trading crypto very soon as well. And even if they're saying they're not going to or they don't like it, they're doing it. So anytime now that you see reports coming out from Goldman Sachs speaking badly about Bitcoin, saying that they don't think it's an investable asset class, just keep in the back of your mind that they are putting money into it. They're putting money into it, and even if they don't think it's long-term, well, you know what? Actions speak louder than words. Their actions are showing that they at least believe in it short-term, because otherwise they wouldn't be putting money into it. But it's interesting to see this major partnership happen. We're probably gonna see more banks coming into the crypto world very, very soon. And this will be when we start to see crypto go from that $1.5 trillion market cap to $3, $4, $5 trillion market cap. Because what we need in order for that to happen is institutions start to pour their money in. Yes, retail investors are very excited about crypto. We see, a decent percentage of investors in the US have money and exposure to crypto. But where we're going to really start to see these gains is when we start to see hedge funds, investment banks, and other major companies start to pour money into crypto. Right now, the percentage is very small, but over time, according to a recent report done by hedge funds, they said that on average, they're expecting to have about 7% 10% exposure of their portfolios into crypto. We're nowhere near that. That's over the next 5 years. But now that we're seeing Goldman Sachs, we're going to see other investment banks, we're going to see other hedge funds start to do this. This is why I don't try and time the market. This is why I don't try and time the market, because it's like we don't know when institutions are going to get in. We hear about the announcement after the fact. We hear, oh, Tesla bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Oh, Square bought Bitcoin. Oh, Goldman Sachs is starting to trade. But we hear that after the fact. And I want to be in before these major announcements come out, before any major news comes out. And the best way to do that is just to, put money in that you don't really care about losing short-term, just long-term investment, and just keep it in a couple of projects that you're excited about. So that's what I do, because I want to be in when we start to see major institutions pour, billions, hundreds of billions of dollars into all of these projects. But speaking of banks, UK bank TSB, a pretty major bank in the UK, is set to ban crypto buying due to e-wallet scam concerns. And this article, this announcement, is something that for me is just very, very surprising, because what they're doing is they're banning more than 5 million customers from purchasing cryptocurrencies. It's not like they offer it. No, they're banning people from actually sending money to trading platforms, to like Binance, to Kraken, to Gemini, to Coinbase. They're banning people from sending their money into these different exchanges. So that's not even like, oh, we're banning trading on our platform. That's like, we keep your money in our bank, but we're not letting you send it where you want to send it. And that's something that I think is going to make a lot of customers not happy at all. People are not going to like that. They want to buy something, they want to invest in something, and the place where they keep their money is not letting them send their money over. I wouldn't be surprised if we see people who trade crypto, who want to invest in crypto, who keep their money in TSB Bank, decide to move and decide to leave the bank for another company, because this isn't a small thing by any means. This is very significant. This is saying, we keep your money, but you can't spend your money where you want to. And personally, I think you should be able to spend your money in whatever. If you want to invest your money in a meme coin that maybe has no backing to it, but you like it, you should be able to invest in that. It doesn't matter if it's going to go down or up. People should be able to buy AMC stock or GameStop. In my opinion, that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think. But I think if it's your money, you want it. It's like gambling. People want to gamble money, and is it the smartest thing financially? Well, according to a bank, they would say, no, it's not smart. But if you enjoy it, you want to do it, go for it. You know what I mean? It's like people should be able to buy whatever stocks, whatever assets, do whatever they want with their money. It's not like it's hurting anyone else. It's their money. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. According to TSB Bank, they said that about 2/3 of all frauds involving crypto were tied to the Binance platform. They said in a 130-day period, 849 TSB savers reported losing funds from Binance accounts. In addition to this, they said that Binance hardly ever responds to allegations of customer fraud. They claim that both Binance and Kraken are officially going to be banned, and people are not going to be able to send their money to those platforms. Binance came out and said, you know what? Security is taken very seriously. We are always focused on fraud and keeping people's money secure. So they denied this, but you got to remember, with crypto, there are a lot of ways, especially with Binance, that people could make just user errors. It's not always going to be fraud. Like if you put in the wrong wallet address and you miss one letter, one code, it could send it to the wrong person. So that's something just to keep in mind sometimes with crypto. But either way, this is surprising. This is a surprising announcement. If other banks start to do this, people are going, in my opinion, people who trade crypto are probably going to be looking towards other banks that allow for crypto to be invested in, for people to actually buy, because it's like saying, oh, we don't want you to invest in the stock market. That's what they're saying. Instead of saying the stock market, they're saying we don't want you to invest in crypto. So we're not letting you send money to Binance or Kraken or some other platforms. Same thing as saying, oh, we don't want you to invest in the stock market, so we're not gonna let you send money to Robinhood or Webull or Charles Schwab or whatever it is. I get there are some differences and they are trying to protect people's money, but the bottom line is I think people should be able to put their money wherever they want. And if they lose it, well, everyone knows that there's a risk of losing money. Most interesting story of the day. This is probably the one I'm most excited about talking, and that is that after Elon Musk has been talking about Dogecoin, saying that Dogecoin, like he's been talking with Doge developers that they should improve on Dogecoin and make it the crypto of the world. Ever since that happened, well, the community has grown exponentially, and now the Ethereum co-founder, Vitalik Buterin, and Cardano creator, Charles Hoskinson, are calling for a couple of things to happen with Dogecoin in the development aspect, and potentially even partnering with Dogecoin, which I found pretty exciting. It's like Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin, he's come out multiple times and spoken about Dogecoin. He said, look, if Doge wants to somehow bridge to Ethereum and then people can trade Doge thousands of times per second, that would be amazing. That's what Vitalik Buterin said, co-founder of Ethereum. He also come out and said, you know, people right now have heard of Dogecoin and they never heard of Ethereum. Dogecoin community is very strong, and that's very surprising to him. He would have never expected that something like Dogecoin, which was made as a joke, which was made as a meme, has gotten so many people into the crypto world over the last 12 months, people that may have not invested in crypto for years and years, or may have never invested in crypto, but they saw Dogecoin, they thought it was not intimidating, it was something that was fun and easy, so they said, look, I'll get into crypto because Dogecoin seems fun, it's not intimidating, it's less than $1 per coin, let's get into it. So Vitalik Buterin has said, you know, if Doge wants to somehow bridge to Ethereum, people could trade Doge thousands of times a second, that would be amazing. Is he trying to get some of that Doge community to move over to Ethereum? Is he trying to say, look, we want to partner with Ethereum? That, you know, he's talked about that in the past. He has talked about in the past, like having some way where the Dogecoin community can be interacting with Ethereum as well. After that, though, we have seen the Cardano creator, Charles Hoskinson, come out in an interview just the other day and talk about Dogecoin as well, saying almost identical to what Vitalik Buterin was saying. And it seems like they both want to have that strong community from Dogecoin come over to their platforms and transfer over some of that excitement and some of that community over onto their networks as well. So Charles Hoskinson, in a recent interview, he said he hopes that Elon Musk's support will help some real developers come in, start working on Dogecoin, create some use and utility long-term, and give Dogecoin a value floor so that the price of Dogecoin can't just crash down to zero, that it actually has some sort of use case down the road, and that it can actually be a very exciting project. He said that right now, Dogecoin is a reasonable target for someone to come in, to fix it up, to make some changes with the code, develop it, and make it a very interesting currency, cryptocurrency in the future. He said it could take 2 or 3 years before Dogecoin could work as a modern crypto, but either way, the community is there. People are excited about it. There are, you know, hundreds of thousands of people who own Dogecoin in their digital wallet, in their crypto wallet. And in order for crypto to succeed, that's the number one thing. The number one thing, in my opinion, is how many people own the crypto, how many people are part of the community. Because if no one owned Bitcoin, it would be worth nothing. If no one had Bitcoin in their wallet, well, it would be worth nothing. And just like with any crypto, an important thing is how many people actually own it, because if you own a certain crypto, well, then you could go ahead, transact with it, spend money with it, trade it, and that's the way that we could see a crypto become an actual currency in the future. So he said his hope is that a compromise can be made where real developers come in, they start working on Doge to create some use and utility for it, so it won't collapse in the future. And he said, you know what? That he's not against the idea of Dogecoin and Cardano working together in the future. He says that's something that could be a lot of fun. And in my opinion, I think he's saying very similar things to what Vitalik Buterin are saying, because they realize that the Dogecoin community, a lot of these people have been involved for, you know, years. A lot of new people are just getting in, but either way, people who invest in Doge, a lot of them don't want to sell it. They're like, hey, you know what? Even if this doesn't increase, I like this. I want to be a part of Dogecoin, and I don't care if it goes up 5 cents, goes down 5 cents. It doesn't matter. I like being part of this community. So I think what we're seeing now is some of the other big players in the crypto world are looking towards Dogecoin to maybe benefit from the community aspect of it. And it's just interesting to see Vitalik Buterin and Charles Hoskinson, two of the major names in crypto, almost like both battling for having a partnership with Dogecoin in the future. Yes, there's no official like team or company for Dogecoin that they could just go ahead and say, look, we want to go ahead and partner with you. Let's do this. It's not exactly how it works. It's a little different than that, but it is interesting to see that they're both open to the idea of having Dogecoin integrated with their platform. And we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Switching gears, crypto kiosk provider CoinCloud is set to reach 2,000 installations. They install these different kiosks, which are ATMs, and people can essentially buy, sell crypto on these different kiosks. And what happened is CoinCloud is just about to install their 2,000th kiosk with the placement of the machines in Texas-based grocery store chain HEB. HEB right now has about $37 billion in revenue in 2020. They're the 13th largest US grocery chain, and they have 340 stores in Texas and northern Mexico. So when I saw this announcement, I was first of all like, what exactly is CoinCloud? I've never seen them anywhere. I know they have 2,000 installations, but I've never seen them anywhere. So I looked them up, and it's actually pretty interesting. This isn't an ad. I have never interacted with this company at all, but what they're doing and what they're creating is actually something I can see working in the future. And what they do is essentially it's a kiosk where one, you got to download, create, and set up your digital wallet on an app on your phone. After that, you can log in to the DCM using your mobile phone number. So you log in on the kiosk using your phone number, and then after that you can buy and sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital currencies. There's a couple of other features that they have as well, but the basics is that you can buy Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin, and you could do this using a credit card, debit card, cash, just going up to the kiosk. I found this pretty interesting. So first of all, HEB, major grocery store chain. It's exciting to see that they are launching this pilot program. At first I thought, well, why are they just having these sort of ATMs, Bitcoin and crypto ATMs in a grocery store? Is there going to be anything else to this? And actually there is. So yes, people are going to be able to purchase digital currency, but they're also going to be able to purchase, they're also going to be able to start, so it says we'll both be able to make purchases using digital currency, but also be able to purchase more coins. So they're going to be able to buy and sell crypto using these kiosks, but also be able to actually make purchases in the store using Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other digital currencies. This is just a pilot program. Going to start in 29 Houston area stores, and eventually they could roll it out to all 340. They're starting off with this pilot program, seeing how it goes. And what we do know right now is that it's starting already. We're starting to see more and more companies have this sort of product with crypto ATMs. We saw in China. China just installed their 3,000th digital digital yuan ATM the other day. We talked about it in the video a couple days ago, so I'll link that down below so you can check it out. The Chinese digital yuan, which isn't a decentralized crypto, but it is a digital asset, they're starting to integrate more of these digital currencies into ATMs, into purchasing items at different stores, and it's exciting to see that this is their 2,000th location. They have the pilot program with HEB, and they also have placed already 200 machines in a number of Cal's convenience store locations and United Natural Food locations as well. But we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if it actually is something that works. But what we know is that there's obviously demand there, because if there wasn't, they wouldn't be going ahead and installing more and more, running pilot programs with HEB. If HEB didn't have customers asking about crypto, or they didn't want to be innovative, didn't think crypto was going to work, they wouldn't be having this partnership with CoinCloud. But they obviously think, you know what, in the future, we want to make it as easy as possible for people to pay with whatever they want to pay with, whether that's with a credit card, whether that's with Apple Pay, whether that's with, Bitcoin. We want to make it as easy as possible for people to pay with what they want to pay with. And we've probably seen some people ask to pay with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto. So they've gone ahead, made this pilot program, and we'll see how it goes, see how it works out. Speaking of companies allowing for crypto purchases, General Motors CEO came out the other day, and originally General Motors had said, we are against Bitcoin, we are not going to let people pay with Bitcoin. But now they've changed their tone after a recent earnings call, and ever since then they've said nothing precludes GM from accepting Bitcoin if there's consumer demand. Essentially what their CEO Mary Barra came out and said is that There's nothing that precludes us from doing that. We will be driven by our customers. Certainly, we want to make the whole buying and ownership experience as easy as possible. We will follow their lead. She's talking about the customers, and that essentially we're seeing this happen with more and more businesses. It seems like what is starting to happen is that people are starting to ask companies, do you have a way that we could pay with Bitcoin? Can we pay with Ethereum? Can we pay with crypto in general? And some people, they might be turned away from a company from doing business if they can't pay with what they want to pay with. For example, it's like if you go to a store and you want to pay with cash and they don't have change. They don't accept cash, because sometimes businesses, they just don't. They say we don't have enough change right now. We can't let you pay with cash. But the problem is sometimes people only have cash on them, or the opposite with credit card. Sometimes people will say, oh, we only accept debit cards, we don't accept Amex, whatever it is if people don't accept what you want to pay with, well, you might just leave the store, not buy it, go to the store, across the street. And we're probably seeing that start to happen with car companies, with grocery store chains, and that's why we're starting to see CEOs of these major corporations be more open to it. So what we saw is a couple months ago, we saw Tesla announce in February 2021 that they would be accepting Bitcoin as a form of payments. People bought vehicles using Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden Elon Musk said, look, we're not going to be accepting Bitcoin anymore. That was a whole, separate story. But either way, Tesla is planning to accept Bitcoin yet again once Bitcoin becomes more energy efficient, and there's about 50% clean energy usage for Bitcoin mining. But so once that happens, they will begin accepting Bitcoin again. And GM, especially with every single car company moving over into electric, they're all going to be competing directly with Tesla. Tesla's already more innovative with tech they have, with the batteries they have, with, they're not even just a car company. They have solar power, they have energy storage. Tesla does a lot. And so all these companies are going to need to make sure, especially GM, that they can compete with Tesla. And how are they going to compete? Well, one easy thing is saying, look, people can pay with whatever they want. If you want to pay with Bitcoin, pay with Bitcoin. You want to pay with Ethereum, pay with Ethereum. You want to pay with another crypto, you can pay with it. So that's going to be something I think we'll continue to see, because that's an easy thing that any car company can do to help them compete with Tesla. And it's not like they need to develop a new technology, a new battery. They just need to say, look, we'll accept Bitcoin, we'll accept Ethereum. You want to pay with Dogecoin, we'll go for it. We'll probably see that start to happen with crypto moving forward, because it will become a competitive advantage for companies that do accept crypto. And other companies are not going to want to miss out on that, because that is just so simple. Even if the company doesn't believe in Bitcoin, in my opinion, you could just go ahead and say, look, pay with Bitcoin. You can pay us with Bitcoin if you want. And then immediately in the processing system that they have set up, it could sell that Bitcoin, convert to cash immediately. So then they don't have to keep Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Or they wouldn't have a lot of Bitcoin. For example, GM could make it a way where as soon as someone pays with Bitcoin, it immediately converts it to cash, sells it, and it puts it, just like normal. So that's an easy thing for all these companies to do. And I think we'll continue to see like GM, we'll continue to see Ford, we'll continue to see all car companies do this at some point. GM has not officially said that they will accept Bitcoin, but they said they're open to it. And I think it's going to definitely happen pretty soon. Switching gears onto something very interesting with Tesla's stock. And that is that a key ex-Tesla president, a key person, a key executive came out and said just recently, according to an SEC report, that he sold $274 million worth of stock since June 10th SEC filing. So within the last couple of days, couple of weeks, he sold off most of his entire Tesla position. According to research and data that has been reported in the past, it's estimated that he has cut his exposure of Tesla from 1.3 million shares about just a week or two ago to now only 150,000 shares as of the last trading day. So he's cut it down about 90% of his entire position. Is this just because he wants the money? He no longer works there? That's possible. But the thing that's important with this one executive is that he has been with Tesla since 2010. He worked at Mercedes as an engineer. He's been with Tesla since 2010, and he was a major role. He was one of the top 4 executives at all of Tesla. So he's been there since 2010. He oversaw the company's entire vehicle business before being named president of the Tesla heavy trucking unit in March of 2021. So he was just named the head of the president of the heavy trucking unit at Tesla in March, and now he's leaving. That's important. And he's not just leaving, but he's selling off his entire position. So did something bad happen, like between him and other executives? Did something bad happen at the company? Is the company just, he's not as bullish on it? What is going on? Why did he sell off so much of it? Because someone who's worked at Tesla since 2010, selling off 90% of their position, and someone who's like a major executive who's supposed to be leading the Tesla heavy trucking division, is just like, first of all, is the heavy trucking unit not going well? Is this going to be a problem? Is it going to be delayed even more? Are they experiencing a lot of issues? It also brings up questions about their recent batteries that they've been producing, because this guy had a major part of that. People are talking about the 4680 battery cells and these new batteries that they were supposed to have with the Tesla Model S Plaid Plus. Tesla Model S Plaid Plus was canceled completely. It was supposed to have that new battery. So obviously there are delays there, but it's just something that we need to keep in mind. Why did this person sell off $274 million worth of Tesla stock? Why did he decrease his position from 1 million shares, 1.3 million shares to 150,000 shares? And why did he leave so suddenly after being with the company for over a decade? He was just had, a promotion, being appointed the president of the heavy trucking unit. And why is it now that he's doing this? Some investors are concerned. I like Tesla. I'm invested in them. I've been invested in them for a while. But it just makes you think, why is he leaving this unit after just being given that raise, becoming the president of that unit? Why did he sell off everything? Basically everything of his position. In my mind, it's a couple of things. It's got to be that there's either some bad blood there, something happened that made him just not feel comfortable, not want to be there anymore, or maybe something happened with the company, and he just doesn't think that they are going to be as innovative and as breakthrough with their technologies as they're saying they will be over the next couple of years. Because it's one thing to leave, but it's another thing to sell off your entire position. So we'll see what happens with Tesla, but according to everything we've been hearing, is Tesla's been ramping up production. They have these 4680 batteries, and they are supposed to have, the new trucking division. They're supposed to have the Cybertruck and all of that. So it'll just be interesting to see what happens here. I'm still very bullish on them. I don't think it's something to be too concerned about, but it just makes you think, why? Why do you guys think he sold off his position? Why do you think he left so abruptly after being with the company for 10 years and just being given a promotion back in March? Why do you guys think it happened? Me, I think it's those two reasons, but I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. And lastly, last story of the day is with AMC stock. So right now, AMC stock has been making some major moves over the last couple of days and last couple of weeks. If we look at the 6-month chart, first of all, it's crazy. Up 2,111%. That's created so many millionaires. It has lost hedge funds billions of dollars, over $6 billion in the last 6 months. And there actually are a couple of major catalysts that are just coming out for Tesla. So right now, if we look at the chart, first of all, with the chart, we are seeing that we reached a record high of about $72 per share. That was during the day, like during trading hours. The highest close that we have seen for AMC was at $62.55 per share. After that, we saw it consolidate a bit, and now we are starting to touch that same $60 per share high. If we could break through that, I think we'd be off and running to reach new record highs, especially as institutions continue and hedge funds continue to lose more and more money, and they may be forced into actually having to cover their positions. But the big thing that has come out with AMC recently is that hedge funds have lost over $2 billion in the month of June 2021 alone. They lost over $512 million in a single day, and it doesn't look like things are slowing down anytime soon. In addition to this, with the numbers, right now the short volume ratio for AMC is at 21%, and this has actually increased from where we saw it just a couple of days ago. A couple of trading days ago, it was at 19% short volume ratio, and now it's increased, which means short sellers are continuing to add to their positions. But the one thing you got to remember with this is that this is the number that's reported. There's probably, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of shares that are being shorted that are not even being reported. This has to do with, everything going on with the dark pools. This has to do with everything going on with information just not being reported by exchanges. This is all that's being reported by exchanges. This doesn't take into account synthetic shares, dark pools, any of those other things that people have been talking about. This does not take into account. So I would say that the short volume ratio is probably much, much higher than what this is. It says 21%. I would not be surprised if it's closer to 50% based on synthetic shares and what is going on. So people who are saying AMC stock already experienced a short squeeze. It has already run up from $2 a share up to 60, so it can't go up any higher. I think they're definitely wrong. I think they're completely 100% wrong, because am I bullish on AMC based on their fundamentals? No. No, AMC is not worth what it currently is if you look only at the fundamentals, but that's not what we're talking about. Right now, I think AMC stock price easily could, double, triple its value simply because of the short volume ratio and what is going on with hedge funds continuing to bet against AMC. They only could keep hemorrhaging money for so long. And at some point, they're going to have to cover their positions. And as soon as that happens, it's going to cause the price to increase dramatically. So for everyone who asks me, should I buy in now? Should I try and time the dip? It's like, we don't know when hedge funds are going to cover their positions, if they ever do. But the thing is if you're bullish on AMC, you like being part of the movement, part of the community, the best thing to do is not try and time all the dips. The best thing to do is just hold, stay in, because what's going to happen is short sellers are going to cover their positions. You're not going to know when it happens, and that's going to be the day that you see 100, 200% increase. And if you want to be part of this movement, you're going to miss it. You're going to see that massive rally that one day, and you're going to miss it. It's happened time and time again. So if you're bullish on it and you want to be a part of the movement, in my opinion, the best thing to do is just hold it, because there's no way of predicting when short sellers are going to cover their position. All we know is that they can't lose money forever, and at some point they're going to have to cover their position. And other thing going on which really no one is talking about with AMC is that foot traffic, something with the actual company, is increasing. So everyone says foot traffic isn't important. Who cares about this data when we're talking about AMC stock? Because right now, all that matters is hedge funds, short interest, and retail investors. And yeah, I get that. But any positive news is good for the AMC community. Any positive news coming out with AMC, whether it's about short interest, hedge funds, retail investors, the stock, the actual company, I think is something that should be spoken about and something that is good for the stock. So right now what we're seeing is foot traffic has increased dramatically. And during the 4th week of May, we saw a 79% increase week over week for foot traffic. The week after that, the 1st week of June, we saw 159% increase in foot traffic week over week. So from the 3rd to 4th week of May, we saw a 79% increase. And then from the 4th week of May to the 1st week of June, we saw another 159% increase. So yes, we are still very far below levels we saw back in 2019 before the pandemic. But the key thing here is that we are seeing things steadily progress. AMC has more cash on their balance sheet than any other movie theater chain, and they're in a great position. Yes, they're going to be losing money because people are just not going to movie theaters as much. But they are in such a great position, because even with them losing money every quarter for the next couple of years, they're still going to be able to sustain that with the money they have, and they can even buy out other movie theaters that may go bankrupt, that may have to be forced to close down, and they could be the only movie theater chain in a couple of years. They could be one of the only, if not the only one, they could be one of 2, one of 3 movie theater chains that are around in a couple of years, because they have all this cash from retail investors who have helped them with their stock price. They've issued new stock, new shares. And also, I just think this is something very, very exciting, because they can use that money to reinvent themselves. So just something to keep an eye with AMC stock. I think this, which was just reported after trading hours, will be something people are going to like. I think we could see AMC stock price rise even more. And the key thing with the actual stock price is that if we see it close above $60 per share, well, then I think we'd be off and running into new record highs. But that's what's really going on with everything in crypto, everything in the stock market, a couple things with Tesla. But hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.